Once upon a time, three mischievous kids, Aryan, Zara, and Kunal, went on a school trip to a wildlife park. They were so excited to explore and couldn't wait to see the animals and try all the activities. The teacher, Mr. Mehta, gave everyone strict instructions before they set off. Listen, everyone, Mr. Mehta said, holding up a map of the park. Stay with the group, don't wander off, and remember the park is huge. If you get separated, finding you will be difficult. Stick together and we'll have a great time. The kids nodded, but Aryan, Zara, and Kunal, who were always up for some adventure, were already whispering among themselves. Guys, if we go off on our own, we could see everything we want without waiting for everyone else, Aryan suggested with a mischievous grin. Zara agreed excitedly. Yeah, we could even see the lion area first. Kunal looked a bit unsure. But what if we get lost? Oh, come on, we won't go far. Just a quick detour. Besides, we are smart. We'll find our way back easily, Aryan assured him. As soon as Mr. Mehta started leading the class down the path toward the reptile house, the three friends hung back and quietly slipped their way down a side trail. They felt a thrill of excitement. Finally, they were on their own adventure. Their first stop was the lion enclosure. They peeked through the fence, marveling at the big, majestic lions lying in the sun. But as they moved on, they saw a sign pointing to the butterfly garden. Oh, let's go there next, Zara exclaimed, running down a winding path without checking if the others were following. Aryan and Kunal hurried after her, but the trail twisted and turned, leading them deep into the park. After a few minutes, they finally reached the butterfly park, but to their surprise, Zara wasn't there. Where did Zara go? Aryan asked, looking around. Maybe she got lost, or maybe we are lost, Kunal said, suddenly worried. Don't panic, we'll find her, Aryan said confidently, though even he was starting to feel uneasy as well. Meanwhile, Zara had reached a pond she had never seen before. Realizing she was alone, she called out for Aryan and Kunal, but there was no response. The park seemed strangely quiet and she started to feel a bit scared. She sat on a bench by the pond, wondering if her friends would find her or if she should try to find her way back on her own. Back on the main trail, Mr. Mehta had just noticed that the three kids were missing. He called the park staff to help search for them, and soon they had rangers checking all the trails. The other students were worried too, and a few even suggested that Aryan, Zara, and Kunal might have wandered off on their own. Meanwhile, Aryan and Kunal were still searching for Zara. They walked in circles, their confidence fading fast. Every tree looked the same and every path seemed to lead them back to where they had started. Kunal sat down on a rock, frustrated. I knew this was a bad idea, he said. What if we never find Zara or the group? Just then, they heard a faint noise calling out to them. It was Zara. She had wandered back to the butterfly garden, hoping they would come looking for her. They ran to her, and the three of them hugged, relieved to be together again. We need to find our way back to the group, Zara said, looking worried. We could get in big trouble. After wandering a bit more, they saw a ranger who had been searching for them. The kids worriedly explained what had happened, and the ranger escorted them back to Mr. Mehta and the rest of the class. Mr. Mehta looked relieved but also a bit stern. What did I tell you about staying with the group? You could have missed the entire trip if we hadn't found you in time. The three friends hung their heads, feeling embarrassed. They had been so eager for adventure that they hadn't thought about how much trouble they could get into. I'm sorry, Mr. Mehta, sir, Aryan said, glancing at his friends. We should have listened. Mr. Mehta's face softened. I'm glad you're all safe. But remember, sometimes the biggest adventure is sticking together and following the plan. It keeps everyone safe and lets everyone enjoy the day. The friends nodded, grateful to be back with the group. From that moment on, they stayed close to Mr. Mehta and the other students, realizing that following safety rules wasn't about stopping fun. It was about making sure everyone had a great time together. By the end of the trip, Aryan, Zara, and Kunal had learned a valuable lesson. They had adventure, but they had also learned that some rules were there for a reason, and next time they would think twice before going off on their own. If you like the story, subscribe to the channel.